Welcome to the Daily Reminder Network.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalaamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakaathuhu. This is Gabriel Al Romaani for the Daily Reminder. Dear brothers and sisters, I want to advise myself and advise you with a very, very important advice. And please give me your hearts, not just your ears. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah 49, verse 11,
يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا يسخر قوم من قوم عسى أن يكونوا خيرا منهم ولا نساء من نساء عسى أن يكن خيرا منهم ولا تلمزوا أنفسكم ولا تنابزوا بالألقاب بئس الاسم الفسوق بعد الإيمان ومن لم يتب فأولئك هم الظالمون.
O you have believed, let not a people ridicule another people. It may be that they are better than them, subhanallah, and people who are making fun of other people. And in our situation, these are Muslims who are using jokes, extreme jokes, pranks and so on, to basically push their agenda, push their popularity, and they say that, we are Muslims. Please listen to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the verse that I just recited. Let not a people ridicule another people. It may be that they're better than them. We don't use ridiculing, and I'll get to the point of jokes. There's a difference between joking and ridiculing. People are ridiculing others. People are going behind their backs and pranking them and scaring them and all kinds of things. Pay attention. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz said, fear joking, for it is foolish and it generates grudges. When you make fun of someone, you think that it was so fun. For me, it was so fun. What about the person that you made the joke on? You don't think about that? You don't think about the person that you just pranked right now? Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas said, set a limit to your jokes. For going to extremes makes you lose respect. No doubt, you become a clown, and incites the foolish against you. So pay attention. Prophet Muhammad said, do not laugh too much. Why? Why, Ya Rasulullah? For laughing too much deafens the heart. It kills your heart. People are just, they just want to have fun today. They don't want to think about death. They just want to basically, just laugh. They say, well, there's all these haram and kuffar making, kinds of jokes. How about we make like a Muslim version? I can be Ahmed or Muhammad or Abdullah, and I can be the Muslim version of these things. Brothers, this is not the correct way. Sisters, this is not the correct way. Mixing with girls, laughing, girls kissing you, hugging you, basically being invited in places and so on, and having tours, and girls going crazy like it's some kind of, subhanallah, like in Jahiliyyah when you would see, these so-called superstars coming and women crying and screaming and everyone's taking pictures and so on. These are our sisters in hijab. These are our Muslim sisters, our protected sisters that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is honored, dishonoring themselves. Advice for my brothers and for my sisters. First, for my sisters. Dear sisters, you are representing Islam. You are there and you're screaming your hat off. You're climbing over fences. You're pushing and ripping almost clothes off from people. You are hugging them and kissing them. You are feeding these people. Subhanallah, you are representing Islam. What do the people say when they look at you? You want to do da'wah, you want to do something righteous, then be like Maryam alayhi salam, be like Fatima, be like Khadija, people that you can relate to, people that you can study their lives, not going outside and just going crazy over men and so on. Subhanallah. And aren't we not ashamed of ourselves? Subhanallah. When someone like the Prophet ﷺ, who is more worthy than any of these brothers, showed up in Medina or anyone, did people start going crazy? Yes, they did sing. Yes, beautiful. Did they scream their heads off and try to rip them and go crazy over them? No. The Prophet went in many gatherings. Did the women of those gatherings come to him and hug him and kiss him? to any of those people. No, you say, but brother, you're not relevant to us. You don't understand. We need an alternative. We have all these boy bands and all these kuffar people coming and having, we need a replacement. Really, subhanAllah, we need a replacement for everything. We can have sabr and we can continue. Yes, I understand. Maybe someone likes someone or someone is, subhanAllah, but this is the issue of sabr. We should have patience. We should control ourselves. This is our deen. Yes, we can have fun, but there are limits, and we'll see, as we'll see inshallah. Advice to the brothers of the sisters who are doing these things. Where is your jealousy? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, there's some hadith that talk about that Allah will not look at a person who has lost the jealousy for his woman folk. He will not look at them on the day of judgment. Allahu Akbar, brothers. What are you doing? These women were entrusted to you. You're allowing your daughters, your sisters, your wives to go and scream around and run around after a bunch of teenagers. Subhanallah. Advice for those who invite these brothers. Be careful. These brothers are not representing Islam. We're not saying they're not Muslim. They are Muslim, but they are clearly wrong. Be careful of giving them a platform, of encouraging them, thinking that, we need this youth to relate to these people. This is not being relative to someone. This is not relating to someone. This is totally making a mockery out of Islam, subhanAllah. Mixing haram, clear things that are not debatable. You can't say, it's your interpretation. This, a sister hugging and kissing a brother, and they're taking selfie and putting all over. A sister who is Muslim, maybe. A sister, subhanAllah, who is, Allahu Akbar. What are we doing? What are we doing? Now, the Prophet ﷺ has warned us that you follow the people up to you follow them into the hole of the lizard. And the Sahaba said, who ya Rasulullah? The Christians and the Jews. He said, who else? Who else? Now, because they have boy bands, we have to make boy bands. Because they have so-called, pretty boys or whatever, we have to make our own version of the pretty boys with the Muslims saying Bismillah or Assalamu Alaikum or Allahu Akbar, Takbir and so on. If they have, famous people joking and making all kinds of weird, really savage-like type of movement and pranks and jokes, then we should also make the Muslim version. So anything that the kuffar come up with, we need to bring up the same, or even try to beat them. Come on, subhanAllah. Why? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to race towards doing good deeds, okay, not towards doing bad deeds. Now, again, let me close with this. You might say, brother, strictness. Again, you guys, strictness. Using these labels, haram police and Wahhabi and Salafi and all these things. Subhanallah. We are reading for you. We are citing from the book of Allah for you. We are giving you advice from the Sahaba radiallahu anhu, who talked about these things. So let me end with this. Are we strict and we can't joke? No. A man came to Sufyan ibn Uyayna and he said, joking is not right. So this man is saying to Sufyan, joking is not right. It should be denounced. Sufyan, he said, rather it's from the Sunnah, subhanallah. Joking is from the Sunnah, yes, but only for those who know how to do it and do it at the appropriate time. There's a time, there's a place, there's a way of joking. Yes, there's a Sunnah of joking, subhanallah. Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, he was asked about the Sahaba, if they were joking, if they're laughing. He said, yes, they used to laugh, but the faith in their hearts was like mountains. Subhanallah. Yani really, we have to ask ourselves, we are joking, going for the meet and greet and so on. Are we waking up for Fajr? Do we have the same enthusiasm when we meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Like we meet these people? Do we have the same, desire when we stand in front of Allah for our salah? So what kind of jokes? Let us give, because I don't want to leave you and say, okay, so what? So we can joke, can't do anything. What kind of jokes based on the Sunnah, based on what the scholar said? What is allowed in Islam? Number one, okay, it should not make fun of Islam. It should not make fun of the Sharia. It should not be something like that. It should be a truthful joke. Yes, the Prophet ﷺ used to make jokes, and they're truthful jokes. It should not scare people. It should not mock people. It should not be excessive, that always joking. Let's make our whole life a joke. Be careful with the status of the people. different people are at different levels. You can't just go and joke with your grandfather and your father and prank them and scare them and so on. It's different, you know. You might not understand, but in their heart they will feel different, subhanAllah. It should involve no backbiting. And last but not least, it should be at the appropriate time. Okay, brothers and sisters, this is Gabriel Al Romaani. A reminder, Wallah al-Adim, sincerely, I love to joke, I love to have fun, I believe that we should be relevant to people, yes, and the Sahaba were the first ones to be like that. If we study their lives, we will find that they were righteous people who had fun, they enjoyed themselves, they're not just strict and just frowning and never smiling and not having, no, that's not true. But there are limits, and these limits have been crossed by some of these brothers, and we advise them sincerely to return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to make tawbah. We're saying change your way. There's some things that were good that were put out there. Change your ways and follow the good ways, and leave these weird movements and these weird dances and these weird things and the girls and all these so-called fame. Be careful of the kibr that might enter the heart. Be careful of the so-called fame that you are trying to see. Be careful and don't mix Islam with this. Subhanallah. If you are doing this and we are advising you to stop, okay, you have to deal with this with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the Day of Judgment. But don't bring Islam into this. Don't label this or color this or paint this as something Islamic. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is witness over all things. Wa jazakumullah khair. This is Gabriel Al Romaani for Daily Reminder. Assalaamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Donate now. Go to www.thedailyreminder.org/donate and stay updated by joining our network's social links.